Hi, everyone. It's Tessa.
And Joe.
From the Unveiling Paradise podcast.
Tessa, summer is almost here, and so many of our listeners are about to have their epic destination wedding.
And we are so excited for you guys.
Before the big day, guys, we want you to make sure you listen to these 3 episodes.
Episode 62, Deep Diving Your Wedding Ceremony.
Episode 53, Questions Your Wedding Guests Will Ask.
And episode 31, The Final Countdown to Your Wedding Day.
And if you're planning your wedding here in Hawaii, hit us up and ask us about our Unveiling Paradise podcast promo.
Happy planning. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Unveiling Paradise podcast. Hey, Joe. How's it going?
Hey, Tessa. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am so excited for today's episode.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to know why?
I do know why. We have a guest. We're looking at her right now.
We do have a guest, and she has what we call the Fred+Kate signature smile.
She does have that.
And I am so excited to welcome our very own team member, Maya Kawano, on the show with us today.
She is what we all refer to as the wedding planner logistic guru. She is the one who makes every wedding dream come true. We are so excited to have her on the show.
What we're going to have Maya talk about today is her tips. Again, she is our wedding planner go-to. She works with all of my couples. She is so great at the logistics, a logistic guru, if you will. Yep. And I'm so thrilled to have her. So welcome, Maya. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us today.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so you are in the hot seat.
Hot seat. Maya, have you listened to our show before? Be honest, your answer does matter.
I have.
Perfect. So you know that we love a good game.
Wait, first question.
Okay.
So you have listened to the show. You know this ongoing rivalry between Team Tessa or Team Joe. I heard secretly that you are on Team Joe. Is that true?
Awkward.
I know the truth.
She has to say you because guess what? You employ her.
I know.
It's a bad idea to say Joe, but we all know, all our listeners know it's Team Joe all the way.
We can all think what we want. That's cute. So what we're going to do is quick questions, and it's really just getting to know you. So it's your favorites.
Okay.
Okay. Are you in?
I'm in.
Joe, are you in?
Can I answer too? I always like to answer these.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Okay. So first question, favorite cake flavor?
My favorite cake is from Halekulani Hotel. It's this vanilla cake with apricot jam in the middle. It's so good.
My favorite too.
Actually, that's my favorite too. So
Oh,
I'm
come
gonna
on.
triple dip.
Copycat.
And I don't even like cake, so that's how good it is.
Okay. Your favorite first dance song?
Lover by Taylor Swift.
You're a Taylor Swift fan, aren't you?
I am. I have to be on the Fred and Kate team.
It's a rule requirement with us. Favorite color?
Wait, my turn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My favorite first dance song is the Pink Pony Club. It's so catchy. It's hard to dance to. It's my favorite. I'm sticking with it.
Have you seen a couple dance to that for their first dance?
No, I haven't, but we'll see what happens after this show.
Here's
I bet
hoping.
we're hoping for it.
Trendsetters. Okay, Maya, favorite color combination?
Anything with pink. Pink with pink.
Pink with pink. Like an ombre of pink.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
Ditto. I like pink.
I don't know why he's playing.
You're just copying all my answers.
They're really good. I like it.
Favorite part of a wedding?
I love the grand entrance to the reception.
Ooh, why?
Because it's just so exciting. It's kind of like the couple's big reveal. They finally get to see everything they plan come together, and everyone's just cheering them on. It's just good vibes.
It's a big good vibe. I love that. Joe?
I don't think that's true. I think the favorite part of the wedding is when it's all done and you get to go home because you're there for like 20 hours a day, right? Is that not a little bit true?
I don't know.
When
I
it's
think
finished?
most couples are pretty bummed when it's over.
Maybe when the dessert station's open then.
Changing the answer. Oh man, Maya, I love an ice cream station, and I know you do. Final question, and this is for all the points. Your favorite boss ever?
The one, the only, Tessa Gomes.
Joe?
Does she get like a raise with that answer? Because give her a raise.
I was staring awkwardly at her until she answered.
You're like mad dogging her.
I'm just joking. But again, you guys, I just wanted you to get to know a little bit about Maya. She is that Taylor Swift, pink loving, cake loving girly that you want on your wedding team. And that's what we have here today. We want to talk to her about just those things that you often overlook when planning your wedding.
I think the thing that I really appreciate, with working with you, Maya, is that you really do see the big picture of like a wedding day, but you get through all of those like little nuanced details. It's like, I would imagine, and again, I'm a photographer, putting together a wedding just has to be a logistical nightmare if you don't know what you're doing. And you, again, like I want to say to all our listeners, there's so much that we're going to learn from you because you are our logistic guru that, kind of helps make everything go smoothly. So welcome to the show, and let's get started.
Welcome to Unveiling Paradise, your go-to destination wedding podcast. I'm Tessa, wedding planner and owner of Fred+Kate Events.
And I'm Joe, wedding and adventure photographer of Joseph Esser Photography. We are based in Hawaii, one of the biggest, most popular locations for destination weddings.
We want to share our real-life experiences with you, give you insight from a professional's perspective, and still make sure you're having fun in the process.
We're huge believers in the fact that planning a destination wedding can be one of the most amazing experiences, and we want to bring you along.
We're so excited to talk with you about weddings, Hawaii, and everything else under the sun.
So pack your bags and let's get started. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. We are so excited to have Maya on, our wedding planner, logistic guru. In case we forgot to mention what our show is all about today. So we're talking about the things that often get overlooked on a wedding day.
Right. And it's not just like physical items forgotten, like bring your rings, bring your dress, right? But it's also just kind of the unconscious things, right? And we'll kind of get into it later. But again, there's so many different areas of detail and checklists that you just cannot think about every single thing. Maya kind of sat down and thought about what are some of the most common things that she sees throughout the planning process that we can just kind of make a note, like, don't forget these things.
So Maya, what is like your number one, like the thing that you're constantly having to remind your couples about?
Don't forget to eat.
That is a good one. And I think every single wedding, right? Couples are like, I'll be fine. I'm going to be rolling on adrenaline. But that's not true, is it?
It's not. It's so important to have a breakfast and a lunch plan. You just want to make sure you're fed, you're ready for the day. I don't know about you guys, but I get really hangry if I miss breakfast. So
I've seen you.
Yeah.
I've seen you both.
We've both been really hungry. Do you have any suggestions of foods for breakfast or lunch that are easier or better? Like, should we be eating spaghetti when I'm in my wedding dress? Or, I guess, what are your thoughts on things that are better to eat than others?
Yeah, for sure. Like, avoid the spaghetti, avoid the acai bowls. It's really messy.
But like a cream sauce spaghetti, maybe?
Ooh, I do love a cream sauce. I would go for things like sandwiches. Easy, filling, makes you feel good, keeps you full. That's what's most important. I would make sure that your breakfast is delivered before your hair and makeup team arrives, just so you have the chance to eat, you're not feeling rushed, you get the chance to brush your teeth again, just so you're ready for the day.
Fun tip that I like to tell people, a lot of times, when the women are starting hair and makeup, they have to start so much earlier than the groom. Instead of paying for room service, go ahead and have your groom pick up food for you.
Even better.
Make them do some work, then you can order from wherever you want, pick up food, have it delivered. You don't have to see each other. He can leave it at your door with a love note and maybe some flowers. Enjoy your meal and then get ready for your hair and makeup and the start of your day.
Also, eat before you do your finishing touches. So if you're doing your lipstick, you don't want to then all of a sudden take that lipstick and have it all over your sandwich. You want to eat before that moment, right?
For sure.
Yeah, this is something that you can build into your wedding day timeline, making sure you have a designated time to stop and eat lunch before everyone's hair and makeup is done.
Maya, that was a good one. What's next?
Yeah, so some of our couples are already legally married before their wedding day, but for most of our couples that want to make it legal on the wedding day, you want to make sure that you get your marriage license. There are legal steps that you have to take in order to be married in Hawaii. So first, you want to make sure that your officiant is ordained in the state of Hawaii. This might vary from state to state, so just check online. It's easy. And you just have to make time to go down together to the Department of Health to pick up your marriage license. It's this cute pink paper.
I have a question. This is a dumb question. There's no such thing as dumb question. This is probably one of those.
There are dumb questions.
But if you, let's say you want to have your marriage license for your actual wedding date, can you get that license beforehand, like maybe a day or two beforehand, but then still have that marriage license reflect? You don't actually have to go into the Department of Health on your actual wedding date to have that be your legal wedding date.
Yeah, I would just make some time before the wedding day to go and pick up your license. You don't want to be stressing about it on the day of. You might get stuck in traffic. You never know what might happen.
And your actual legal wedding day is the day that your officiant signs and files. So on your wedding day, so say it's March 1st, that's your wedding date. You may have picked up your license 2 weeks before. The day of your actual ceremony and the day that he processes, that's the day that you're legally married. So that will be your wedding date.
So it doesn't actually matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So in the state of Hawaii, you can pick up your marriage license up to 30 days before. There are several steps. It's not complicated, but you have to have them, right? So you can fill out your worksheet online. You have to take the worksheet and you have to go to the Department of Health or to an agent to get your marriage license. The officiant then takes that marriage license and fills it out, files online, and that's when you get your legal marriage certificate. We had a couple, and they were getting married at a hotel, and they were staying at a different hotel. So in the morning, my assistant is in the morning, with the groom, and he's like, okay, he has everything, can you just confirm this is the right paperwork? He sends me a screenshot, and it was their worksheet. It wasn't their marriage license. It was crazy because technically they can't get married without their marriage license. It's a Saturday. The Department of Health is closed. Luckily, there are agents around the island that you can call. So at this hotel, there were a couple agents. I had to call in and say, can you process them right now? The couple didn't want to see each other before the wedding. And I was like, I don't know what to do. You have to be together in person to do this beforehand. She wasn't even sure if she wanted to change her name. She thought she had time to figure that out later. But all of that has to be done when you sign this marriage license. So it all kind of came to a head the morning of her wedding, before they started hair and makeup, before they got dressed. So again, a lot of chaos that ideally, if they know in advance and plan in advance, these conversations can happen before it gets to your wedding day.
And Maya, Tessa, I wonder if most couples just assume that their officiant is going to be able to do that all for them and they roll up on the wedding day when in fact they needed to do this beforehand.
Yeah, and that's why it's just so important to have a wedding planner on your side. We can make sure that you take care of this ahead of time. We have it on our checklist and our planning roadmap just to ensure that nothing gets forgotten.
Okay, Maya, let's talk about some of the physical items that people forget. Whenever we're planning indoor weddings versus outdoor weddings, right? There's so much more involved with outdoor weddings. We are building, and I've said this so many times on the podcast, we're building a venue from ground up. So we have a park and we need tents and lighting and dance floors and chairs and tables. And most people remember the big things, but there's always a few things that are forgotten. Can you give me one or two examples?
Yeah, so one of the most commonly forgotten items at an outdoor venue is trash cans with the trash bags.
For sure, we need those trash bags too.
Yeah, it's important. So it's just important to make sure that you're taking care of your caterers, your bar team. If you're eating chicken skewers, you want to make sure that you have somewhere to put those skewers once all of your guests are done. You don't want to lose your deposit on the venue if the next day they find all of these items all over the ground.
As somebody who's not planning, you wouldn't think that you would need to rent these things or dispose of them. But a lot of those venues, that falls on the client to be managing all these things. You would never think about it. But yeah, you have to have trash cans.
A lot of venues have nothing, right? I always tell people it's like a park. You have a beautiful park and that's it. Every other thing that you want for your wedding, want or need, you have to rent. So trash cans are a huge one. And we always remind our couples, don't forget to add your trash cans, right? At every wedding, trash cans. You can never have enough trash cans, trash bags, trash wrappers if you want to make them look pretty, but trash cans are a must. Maya, what's another item that people don't think about, but I think is something that's really important for the vibes.
Yeah, one of my favorite tips recently is to add a dimmer to your rental invoice. So when you have an outdoor wedding with a tent and cafe lighting and lanterns or chandeliers, it just gets really bright. Nobody wants to be dancing in the daylight. So you just want to have that dimmer to set the tone so that you have the option to dim the lights once dancing starts. So for some couples that don't have a dimmer, sometimes the DJ or the photographer will come up to us asking to turn down the lights so that we can get the dance floor packed. But all that we can do is unplug a cord and hope for the best. Hopefully we're not unplugging the DJ.
It's so true. You know, there's so many different like cables and wires and whatnot. And, you know, and they're like, just unplug them. And we're like, what if we unplug all the power to everything?
So are you saying that you would have to actually go in and like unplug like the cafe lighting or the chandelier lighting just to, I mean, not really dim, but just like kill the light?
Exactly. So we're trying to do that, but we don't know what else is connected to it. Yeah. So again, is it the DJ sound system? Is it the catering, you know, fry station? Is it, you know, whatever it is? We kind of hold our breath and hope for the best if they want us to unplug things. And the dimmers are cheap. Right?
Yeah, I think it's like $25-$30 maybe.
Best investment ever to set the mood for your dancing.
I think this is what's funny. If you're not a wedding planner, you don't really think about these things, but like your list of all the things that you need for an outdoor wedding, it's crazy the amount of different things that most people wouldn't think about. I mean, obviously, you know, for me, trash is like one of those things where like, yeah, why wouldn't there be trash cans? Dimmers, like who would think about dimmers? When you look at the order from rental companies, I mean, a lot of it is just so intuitive to you guys, but for most of our couples, they're like, oh my gosh, we need to do all this stuff. Again, like I always say this, but hire somebody who does this full time. That's a planner that knows what you're going to need and not need. And I think you'll save money, but you'll also save the headache.
Yeah, trash cans, dimmers, like there's, you know, like you were saying, when we're looking at the rental list, and here's the interesting thing too, a lot of times we're trying to match a rental list with a floor plan. So we're line by line going through every single item. In addition to that, if you have multiple rental companies, we're getting things from different things. So your sweetheart table may be missing from one, but it's because it's on another. You got a specialty table. So there's so many different elements. And in addition to that, you have the non-layoutable items. So your forks, your knives, right? It's also understanding that we need to look at a catering menu to know if it's a plated meal. Do you need a 5-course meal? You need 5 plates. What size plates? A lot of chefs don't use a salad plate for salads. They use the full plate for the display. So it's going through all of those things to make sure that nothing gets forgotten. It's a lot. The rentals are a lot. But again, I see dimmers and trash cans missed a lot on the first pass when we're going through rental orders.
Okay, so another thing that I was thinking about is having someone designated to help you bustle and steam your dress ahead of time. So with bustling, it's always so helpful to have someone. It can be your maid of honor, your mom, your sister, somebody that's familiar with your dress and knows exactly how it bustles.
Can we pause there for a second, Maya? Half of our listeners are guys. Like, don't have a clue what we're talking about. What is a bustle?
Yeah, so it's like these loops or these clips that attach the bottom of your dress to the middle of your dress. So it just helps to clip it higher so that it's out of your way for dancing. You don't want to be stepping and tripping on it while you're doing your first dance.
So it basically transforms your dress from like big, long dress with a train, right, into like a short dress that you're not going to be stepping on the back of it, right? Is that it?
Yeah, think of it sort of like a mini outfit change.
And Maya, are all bustles the same?
No, they are not.
Tell us about it. We have had some crazy bustles recently, right?
Yeah, so some of the most common ones are like little buttons with loops on it. So we just have to find the right ones to match it up. Most recently, we actually had one with 11 strings, 22 strings actually, because you have to tie them together.
So crazy.
It was a lot. It was a lot of string.
Yeah, so after the couple came back from their sunset photos, we're getting ready for their grand entrance. We ended up helping the bride bustle her dress, and we had to have her stand on a chair, and I'm under her dress with flashlights looking for all of the right ties.
And it was confusing because you have to tie the right string to the right one, or the bustle would be crooked, and then you'd miss a string, right? So it was 11 pairings of string. If you just tied a bow, because it was such a heavy dress, it would have fallen off. So you have to like double knot it for it to hold up. Like it was, I've seen a lot of bustles, but that was a pretty intense one. It was cute. Very, very great dress, but it was a lot of bustle.
Yeah, so it was great that she told us about it ahead of time. She actually had a diagram, and it just helped us know exactly what we're looking for so that we're prepared ahead of time.
I think it's interesting. A lot of the dress designers, when you're doing your fitting and everything, they will show you, they'll even give you like a worksheet on how to bustle your dress. Bring that to your wedding. If you don't bring that, sometimes they're just so complicated. It's like solving a Rubik's Cube. You know what I mean? There's so many different moving parts, and you just got to make sure that they all connect, right?
And even with the picture, I think for me, what's always helpful, and my tip, for the bride, is have someone do it in the morning, like in the daylight. Because a lot of times when we're bustling, the sun has gone down, it's dark. And now, even though we know that there are 11 pairs, we haven't seen it yet, right? So before the dress goes on in the morning, show it to someone. Really have them look at it in the light so it's easier to tell when it's dark.
And moving on to steaming, this is something that's just so important. You want to make sure that you're ready for your photos, your video team. For the bride and the bridesmaids, I recommend taking out your dress from the bag before the morning of your wedding just to let it loosen up, air out, and steam it if you still need to. A lot of times when we arrive in the morning, we end up steaming the wedding dress, the veil, all of the bridesmaids' dresses. If you have robes, that's another set of outfits to be steamed.
Good one, the robes. I forgot about those. So, for our listeners who aren't sure about the robes, a lot of times when you're getting ready with your girls in the morning, you have these really cute robes. You bought them on Amazon. They're still in the bags. And when you take them out, they are creased and they have lines. And I'm sure, Joe, as a photographer, you've seen that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If your robes are wrinkled, that's not going to look so pretty for photos. I actually have a lot to say about ironing too. Believe it or not, I love everything to be ironed. I can't handle wrinkles, especially because, if it's wrinkled in photos, you've got to Photoshop it. Here's my pro tip. I agree with everything that said, but I also want to say, make sure you're very careful about what you're using to actually iron or steam. Sometimes these hotel irons can get all junked up by the person who used it last. So if they're ironing something like melted plastic, and then you take that iron and you hit your brand new tux with that iron, you're going to ruin it. So I always say, test on a hotel towel first to make sure that it's good and it's not going to melt what you're wearing, and then actually iron your stuff. If you have a steamer, bring a steamer. Bring something that you are comfortable using. You don't want to take a chance on your wedding day.
Have you seen on Instagram and TikTok, all these like little travel hacks? So I have seen people like making grilled cheese sandwiches with an iron or like cooking with it. Well, my point being, like, what if the person before you made a grilled cheese sandwich and now you're trying to iron your suit,
your
right?
Tom Ford tux,
right? And it's going to smell delicious and cheesy and buttery, but is that your vibe, right? So
not mine.
You made a good point. I'm just saying, if people are cooking with said iron, we may need to clean it. Don't use it. With that said, to Joe's point, depending on the fabric, depending on what your dress is made of, some of them need to be professionally steamed or cleaned. There are people that do that. So test it in advance. Bridesmaids, do not take your dress out of your suitcase crumpled that day. Even if you take it out a few days before and let it air out, the wrinkles will loosen and it'll be so much easier to steam that day.
Yeah, so a lot of times our couples are staying together maybe the weekend before their wedding, so the bride will keep her dress in the bag since she doesn't want the groom to see it before the wedding day. So my tip is to just give your dress to maybe your parents, one of your sisters, one of your bridesmaids, Let them air out your dress in their room, someone that you trust. Moving on, another one of my tips is to just use the bathroom before you get into your dress, or for guys, into your suit. It's just so much easier before you get dressed. You don't have to worry about getting it dirty or wet when you're washing your hands. It's just an easy thing that you can take care of ahead of time.
I have been in the bathroom with a bride more often than I can count.
Me too.
Hold up her dress, maneuver her around, right? Like,
help her pull the Spanx back up.
Right? It's a lot. And so if you want to do your business before you get into your dress one last time, It makes your day so much smoother.
Is it weird to say that I've not been in the bathroom with any grooms? It hasn't happened yet.
It's not weird, and I'm thankful for that. But, even when like guys are washing their hands, like, and you're messy, or, at a hotel, you just don't know how strong that water is.
Exactly.
Yeah, right? Imagine in your Tom Ford suit, and now you're wet.
Yeah, just bathroom before you get dressed is the goal.
Perfect. Okay, Maya, next tip.
My next tip is tipping. If you plan on tipping your vendors, again, this isn't necessary at all.
I think it's necessary. Why not?
Necessary.
Necessary. My bad.
Especially your photographer.
So if you plan on tipping your vendors, you just want to make sure that you add this to your budget before the wedding, so it's accounted for. And before your wedding, you just want to make sure that you take out any cash that you need, have it ready, organized in envelopes. This isn't something that you want to be worrying about on your wedding day, like, Dad, I forgot cash. Do you have any?
Yeah, and that actually happens quite a bit. We have weddings where they're just so excited and happy with our services, and then they're like, oh my gosh, do you take Venmo? And like, don't think about that on your wedding day. If you're planning on tipping, and you don't have to tip your vendors if they do a crappy job. But if you do, you don't want to be thinking about, asking people for money. You know what's really funny, guys? I feel like I get tipped at a lot of weddings, but it's kind of weird. I don't think coordinators get tipped that often. Is that true? I don't ever see, unless you guys aren't sharing what. But I feel like I'm always getting an envelope from, like, maybe it's the dad or the best man, but I don't think you guys are getting tipped. Is that true?
Well, I think a lot of people do tip us, but I think where this kind of stems from is couples will often ask us, who should we tip?
Yeah.
So I will list out all the vendors. I think it's really weird to list us out. So I don't,
So you'll list out, make sure you tip your photographer, but you won't say anything about yourself.
I do, which, I struggle with that because obviously no one has to tip anyone. Yeah. And I know how hard my team works, but I also feel like it's a little odd to say, and please tip us. So I just don't.
You're humble.
It's okay.
It's
cool. Okay. Yeah.
Humble queen.
Logistics guru. And Joe.
And I think that if you're listening, don't forget your planner. Because, like, honestly, guys, they're the ones who do the most work at your wedding. Like, photographers, we work hard, but, like, your wedding is the result of their hard work. So don't forget them.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you.
Especially Maya. She works harder.
She does work harder.
Harder. I said harder.
I said harder. I heard you. I heard you.
So great tip on tipping. What else? Do you have anything more?
Yeah, for sure. So at outdoor venues, everything just blows away. I think people forget just how windy it can get. Mm-hmm. So you want to just make sure that you have a plan for your place cards, your escort cards, your menus, welcome signs. So many times the welcome signs will just blow right over. So good thing we have our wedding day kit. I usually just tape it or use a piece of cute ribbon.
We have taped things, tied things to poles, tied things to trees. It's understanding, guys, when you're planning an outdoor wedding and you're looking at inspiration on Pinterest, that's a still photo. You're not looking at that strong gust of wind that's blowing all your escort cards over. We had a couple that did cranes. Like, each place card was on a crane. I'm like, they're going to fly away like little birds. Mm-hmm. It's windy. Anytime you're outdoors, think about that, right? Your lit candles, your menus, anything that's on the table that's not weighted down can blow away. So just kind of figuring out what are those things that you can do to weight it down.
I think that's a great tip because, like, a lot of weddings aren't necessarily the coordinator's doing everything, the planner's doing everything. A lot of times people will bring in their own DIY. So are you making sure that whatever that thing is going to be able to stay stationary and weighted? It's perfect. Love it.
Whenever we're setting a table, if there's a menu, a napkin, something on the table, as we're setting, and it's understanding that, we're setting a couple hours earlier than the actual reception begins, we'll put something on it like a knife, a fork, something to weight it down. Now, photographers, pro tip for you, check with the coordinator what the actual setting is supposed to look like before you take the picture. I have seen so many photos where the knife is on the napkin or the fork is on the napkin.
Or the menu is tucked underneath the napkin, so you can't even see what the menu is. You got to pull that puppy out.
Right. So it's understanding that a lot of it is there for weight. It's not supposed to be set that way, So if you're doing those detail shots, check with the planner. what is the setting supposed to be like, reset it for your photo, and then wait it back. A lot of times it's just there to hold everything in place in the meantime.
Right.
Okay, Maya, the outdoor wind issue is a big thing with every one of our clients. I feel like you and I are constantly telling people it's going to blow away. Hey, those frames are going to blow. We've had so many broken frames. We've had welcome signs fall over, seating charts blow into the ocean. I'm kidding, it hasn't. But I mean, it can get windy. But Maya, do you remember that one wedding we did?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
We did a wedding, guys, and it was in a ballroom. And we do ballroom weddings, but this one in particular had a lot of little setup. And we had lit candles, menus. There was a memorial table, and it was weird because the frames didn't have the little leg backing. So they were just frames. So you had to kind of balance them. And guys, guess what?
None of them blew over. There was like 10 frames. They all stayed up the entire night. Unheard of.
We were shocked. We were so used to these outdoor weddings with, again, wind, but it stayed the entire night. And Maya and I, the whole time, were just shocked and happy. And we're like, wow, like, again, an indoor venue is so different when planning a wedding than an outdoor venue. So you just have to think about how they are different and how this affects your decor and your vision for the wedding day. Okay, Maya, I want one last tip from you. I have a feeling that I know what it's going to be. And
I was just about to say
I
that.
have a feeling that I'm going to disagree with you personally, but go for it.
Yeah, my favorite tip is to hydrate. Your wedding is just such a long day, and you need to be hydrated to feel your best. When I'm with the bride or the groom in the morning, I always like to make sure that they have water and that they're drinking it. I even force Tessa to drink water throughout the day at every single wedding.
Maya's very good about making sure people drink water. She brings like 3 big water bottles, and by the end of our wedding day, she has drank them all, refilled them, forced me to drink water. I am the type where I'm going to have about 5 cups of coffee in the morning, and then I'm just going to go straight without anything. But Maya is very good at reminding our couples to drink, especially if they're not eating or they're drinking alcohol, right? Like, hydration is so important. It is going to help you for your entire day.
Well, I feel like we covered a lot of stuff, guys. I think that was great. These are things that we see all the time getting forgotten. And I hope you guys take this in, make notes. If you need to re-listen to this podcast, this is the one to do. Don't forget any of these things.
Maya, thank you so much for coming on with us again. Like, I love that you were able to share some of our couples' insight. I think because you're on calls with all of our couples, you see what is often forgotten. So it was such a wealth of knowledge. I'm sure you have so much more to share that we can bring you on another time. But thank you for coming. Joe, thank you for listening to us and putting up with us today. I've decided that it's now mine and Maya's podcast. We're
it's the
funny
Maya
together.
and Tessa show.
Awkwardly, she's still on Team Joe after recording. So here we are.
Now you're just making things up.
Fake. We need to fact check him. But thanks everyone for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Unveiling Paradise.
If you enjoy our show, please follow us and rate us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. It would really mean a lot.
And don't forget to also get on our mailing list and follow us on Instagram. Just do it already.
Until next time, this is Tessa.
And this is Joe.
And don't forget, your happily ever after
It's just a plane ride away.